Did you lose your merch?
Lael gulped while his right hand moved towards his crotch. He was beginning to turn toward the man when he felt a cold cylinder against the back of his head.
If I were you, I wouldn't do that. You're sure naive enough to turn your back on someone you don't trust. Put your hands where I can see.
The man moved inside Lael's crotch, grabbing the Colt he was hiding and removing it away from Lael's possession. Lael did as he was told, breathing heavily.
We don't play around, you know. We are not so stupid that we would actually believe in the little stage you created. We also tracked your guards that were kindly watching over you.
What did you do to them?
Nothing yet, or maybe we killed them.
Nah, you didn't kill them. After all, you're a collector like me. People are useful. I'm pretty sure you captured them and put in another cage.
Lael theorized. People were walking around in front of them, but they knew it was none of their business, so they didn't stop for a second. Lael's feeling of being observed had disappeared.
Ah, quite observant, I see.
Lael's hands that were still above his head moved instinctively. He dodged the gun with a quick head and body movement. Facing the man, Lael grabbed his wrist, twisting it and biting him for him to let it go, as at the same time a knee was buried in the man's stomach. The guy still managed to shoot several times, but it only barely scraped Lael's left shoulder. Lael made him throw the gun successfully, throwing him on the floor with all his weight, and he grabbed the gun, pointing to the man's chest.
I was stalking you, you fool.
The man smirked and punched Lael, trying to get his gun away. Lael fired the gun, but the only thing he heard was a click. That proved the gun didn't have any ammo already. The man laughed and quickly headbutted Lael, causing him to fall down. Aiken gave up on the gun and reached for his knife, pointing to the man, who laughed.
Go ahead, kill me. I swear, you'll never know where your friends are that way.
Lael hesitated. Was he bluffing? By his experience, Lael could now notice the man wasn't simply crying out for his life, but he was actually telling the truth. Aiken got up, and while he still had his knife pointed to the man, he made him stand up and put his hands around the back of his head.
Where are they?
Where's your intelligence, huh? Do you think that's enough to make me tell you where your friends are?
Lael bit his lip. He was running out of options and didn't know what else he could do. He removed his wig, revealing his long blonde hair. The man seemed a bit surprised and amused.
I bet I would be a good merch for you. Don't you think? Why don't we make a deal? I trade myself for those that you caught recently.
We'll see. You definitely have great features and all, but I'm not sure if you'll sell out for being a broken merch. And I don't have any knowledge about the features of your dear fellows.
I was sold once, and it was for quite an interesting amount. Plus, it wasn't even after 2 minutes. I can also pretend I'm a good merch for all I care, so you can rest easy. I'm more valuable than the remaining combined.
I like your confidence. Well, let's go then. Give me the knife.
The knife stays with me now for my safety, just in case you're lying to me. I'm pretty good with it. If you even try something, it will work like a bullet. Do you understand me? I'll hand over you when you accept the deal then.
Aiken continued, caressing the tip of the knife in the man's neck. He then made the merchant start walking with Lael right behind him. The man smirked and nodded, beginning to walk again to the same direction Lael went before, although changing the path halfway. They walked for over 5 minutes, until they got into a clearer area without so dense vegetation. Lael quickly spotted Nael, Simon, Sandra, Miguel, and Alethea, tied down and passed out on the floor. Lael gritted his teeth, and before thinking about slitting the man's throat, he noticed that behind all of them there were around 10 men, amongst them the one that he talked to first, who now smiled and began to talk.
Here you are, boss. I thought you'd actually be pinned down by them, but apparently everything went according to your plan.
Boss?
Lael was still pressing the knife against the boss's neck.
And what does he mean everything went according to his plan? Does he not see that I can just kill him anytime I want?
Shut up, 4C.
The boss slowly turned so he'd face Lael.
Well then, as you can see, those guys are all my merch. They were so well trained and behaved so well that I granted them a bit of freedom by working for me. I bet you were expecting that, were you?
Nothing surprises me anymore. Shit. If they obey their boss like that, it's impossible to retrieve them, as they'd rather die for them than coming with us. So basically, the only ones we could save are the ones he showed me earlier, after all.
Lael bit his lip, thinking about how many things he had overlooked.
If you say so. Anyway, let me look at your pals now and I'll see if I can make a deal with you. 3, wake them up. The rest of you prepare yourselves for holding them down if needed.
The guys nodded, and the shorter one gave each one of Lael's teammates something to smell, making them slowly regain conscience.
Lael? And...
Sandra spoke first. Nael began trying to free himself, but it was useless since the chains used to tie them were strong. Simon made a weird face while he looked at everyone.
I guess we shouldn't have drunk that liquor back then.
Simon looked at Lael, and in a split second made a shy smile. Lael tried not to look surprised. He wasn't sure what Simon meant by that, but it seemed he was confident about something. Simon sighed, and even if he sounded amused, Lael could identify anger in his face.
What the fuck? Who the fuck drugged me?
Knock it off. My head hurts and you screaming like that don't help. Besides, can't you see you're being a nuisance and that I won't do anything at all?
Stop grumbling, Miguel, and try to think, you asshole.
Lael was starting to lose his nerves.
Both of you! Shut up!
They looked at her, and then looked away, intimidated. Lael sighed and thanked Sandra mentally for that. The boss looked at them, shaking his head.
Clearly, the only one that interests me is the kiddo there,
he said, pointing his chin towards Nael.
He looks strong and doesn't seem as broken as his remaining money making.
What the hell did you just...
Alethea began to snap when she felt Sandra's eyes fell upon her and shut herself up. Lael tilted his head and looked at Nael, who looked back with a calm expression.
That wasn't part of the deal.
Did you think I was going to let you trade my broken merch by only you?
The boss smirked. Lael sighed, irritated, and threw the weapon away, putting his hands up. One of the subjects grabbed it quickly.
Fine, we have a deal then. Me and the kid buy the rest of the merch you showed me earlier. Plus, my friends here get away. Alive.
Of course. Who do you think I am? Well, you actually don't know who I am since I haven't introduced myself yet. You can call me Master.
His followers put Simon, Alethea, Sandra, and Miguel asleep and made the way back by carrying them, leaving Nael, Lael, the boss, and 4 other men there.
I heard about what you guys do.
Master stared at Lael. Lael tried hard not to look away from those dark eyes.
Selling merch, like you.
The man chuckled and lit a cigarette.
Like me? You guys are patrolling the area, looking for more people to join your group.
He puffed and looked to Nael, who was still sitting, staring back at him with a dangerous expression in his eyes.
Well, Sorry to disappoint you, but our aims might be way different.
Our reasons for doing might be different, but our methods are similar. We're just as smart as you this time. Sorry for that.
He nodded softly to the men. They approached Lael quickly and tried to tie him down as well. Lael began to kick and punch them, refusing to let them do that. A bullet was shot and scratched Lael's arm, making him freeze.
The next one will go through your school, so you better start behaving.
Lael let them tie him up. He was surprised how calm Nail was, looking almost bored. They began to walk further into the forest, but only for 2 minutes this time. Lael was wondering why they didn't bother covering their eyes so they wouldn't easily run away. As they arrived, Master opened a similar cage to the one he saw underground, and told the men to throw them there. Lael was pushed inside it, and so was Nail. They closed the cage, leaving them almost in complete darkness. Lael felt muddy water around his knees.
They're trying to keep us awake, huh?
Nail nodded, looking around. The cage was 4 square meters, and the dim light came from a thumb-sized hole that connected to the outside.
There's no way out of here. The metal bars won't let us dig our way out.
Nail nodded and smiled.
Why are you so happy?
Due to Simon, Nail's earring wasn't just an earring anymore, but also a tracker. Unless no one would check the tracking devices, or it got broken or taken away, it would be no time until Edith or the others would rescue them.
You're a genius! Well, now we have to wait and hope the others are okay.
Nail nodded and stepped back so he would lean on the wall, but a cracking sound coming from under his foot caught his attention. He put his hand underwater and grabbed the white long thing he stepped on. He looked at Lael, and then his eyes opened wide. It was a human bone. Nail tossed it to the side, disgusted.
I hope to God we don't have to wait for long.